All right. Good morning, real life traders, everyone out there in YouTube. Welcome. It is Friday. It's a Friday. Nice. Weekend coming up. July 12th. All right, let's take a look at the S&P. So let me pull out my chat again real quick. Move that over here. All right. So S&P. So far today, we are just sideways, right? We're basically in a channel. I don't really know if that's real that long, but anyway, we are certainly just going sideways right now in the S&P, and we're going to have the same exact look in the Nasdaq. Let's take a look. Similar look here on the Nasdaq, right? Just in this kind of channel right here. So direction wise, right? We don't really have much of a true direction yet. We'll see what happens. Yesterday, decent down day on the Qs. Decent down day we yesterday, right? We're now holding basically the close. So we're sitting right on top of that. This is the 10 EMA on the daily, sitting right on top of that. So question is, are we going to go lower? And if we go lower, well, then we have the 20 down here. That would be certainly the target on the Qs. Let me go back to the ES real quick because we didn't really look at that on the daily, but it's going to give a similar look. So again, down day yesterday. We're a little bit farther away from the 10 here than we were on the Qs or on the Nasdaq. So again, but sideways, right? We just have some sideways movement. It is a Friday. Fridays in the summer can be really slow. However, we do have some movers today, and looks like Cheryl's throwing in some tickers in the chat. Cheryl, let me make a list of those, and I'll come back to them. I want to get to Adobe. I want to look at the ones that I identified from my screener this morning. But I will get to those shortly, Cheryl. We'll take a look at those. All right, let's go through at least the ones that I have identified. All right, so first one, let's take a look at T. So AT&T is, we have a potential gap down. Okay, it would be a retest gap, right? So we had green candle yesterday. I'm sorry, it would be a gap and go. My apologies. Gap and go if we gap down. Okay. So the low from yesterday is right. Let's just drop a line in here. There's a low from yesterday. So we are underneath it. So that would be a gap and go. Now, what I am looking at here is clearly we made this move lower and now we're making a series of higher highs and higher lows, right? So yeah, we had this bigger move down initially, but now we are retracing. We're coming back up. So we'll see how this opens. Also, I dropped in this trend line here, which is going to serve as support, right? As we're making those higher highs and higher lows. Let me go to a 15-minute chart just to let you see that a little bit more clearly. Right? So 15-minute chart. Now, does this mean we're going to continue to go, up from here? Good question. But if it can hold below this level, basically what we're looking at here is just on the 15-minute chart is a big bear flag, right? So here's the post and then here's the flag. So, but this level where we're at right now needs a hold, and then we would look for it to drop. That's if it continues lower. We'll see. Watch this. That is AT&T. Let's also look at Snow. Snow is a very similar look. So we do have some potential shorts today. So AT&T, again, that was a gap and go. On Snow, it would be a retest gap. We had a red candle yesterday. This line, the red line here, is the low of the previous day. So I would want to see that open below that. We have, again, very similar look to what we just, but again, we're making higher highs and higher lows here. We do have this. Let me activate this and drag this up a little bit more. So we do have this trend line that's formed, right? And that's from these 2 points here. Just need 2 points or more to form that trend line. The difference is this is definitely making higher highs and higher lows versus what we were looking at with T is it was, so this is not so much of a bear flag, whereas with T, when we were looking at it, this level that which is the black line there, which is the 20 SMA, that seems to be holding price down. But again, I mean, we have 22 minutes before the open. So we'll have to see. Let me extend this a little bit further here. But that trend line would need to break. That's going to provide support. But if that can break, we might have a nice trade to the downside. Okay, well, Wells Fargo. So Wells Fargo, they are supposed to at 9 o'clock. I think they said they're doing the conference call, so that should be happening now. We'll see how the market reacts. So if they're having the conference call now, so they released earnings, they actually beat earnings, but still the market reacted negatively to it. We'll see what happens with this conference call as it's going on now, if that makes the market react even more, but we'll see. Right now, it's just like we're kind of holding this level right here. We might be getting some more price action in here, but we're just holding that level. Let me go back to a 3-minute. So the lines that I have on here is if, we could even tighten this up, right? So I did these earlier, but if I'm looking at the here and I'm thinking, okay, if this level can get broken, then we go down. Obviously, we need to be aware of the pre-market low, which is right here. If we go back to the 15, what I was identifying on the 15-minute chart was this was earlier in the morning. This candle here was the primary one that I was looking at. But now that we have all of these 15-minute candles, we could actually lower our stop, bring it down to like here, right? So tightens it up, potentially get a 1.2 to the low of the day if this sets up. We'll have to see. Yep, Tim, I will add Starbucks and Square to it. To the list, we'll get to those. Okay, Citi. Take a look at Citi. So Citi also, hang on a second. Citi earnings. Let's see. Again, they beat earnings, but unlike Wells Fargo, the market liked what they saw. So we've got a potential gap and go. So we had a red candle yesterday, and we are looking at a potential gap up. At this point, this could just be some type of flag forming here. We need to know where the pre-market high is, because that will be a level that we're going to pay attention to if we get up there. So let's see. All right. So potential gap and go there. So we got a couple gap and goes. We got one to the downside, one to the upside. Let's see. Let me go through my the rest of the list here. Roblox just popped up recently. Let's take a look at Roblox. Roblox was not on my scan earlier. Okay, it's not really. It showed it as a gap up, but it's not really, because it's just trading inside yesterday's price action. All right, so that doesn't really qualify. Let's see. Let me just look quickly at this list. There's a couple others that have popped up. Wayfair. Okay, Wayfair is still within yesterday's price action. Let's see. A couple others I had written down. All right, so we're looking at a uh, ARRY array. We are looking at retest gap. Let's see what the news is. Okay, so they were upgraded. Okay, so there is a news catalyst here, right? So lower price stock, which means easier to trade for people with smaller accounts. That's good. Let's just throw on high from yesterday, right there. So we would have a retest gap going up. That's on the list. Volume, let me just double check the volume. Okay. Volume's decent. Now, again, the ATR, it's only 70 cents, right? So it's kind of on the low side of what I would want, but it's close. So I'm going to keep it on the list. It's better than 30 cents or 40 cents. But there are certainly better tickers that we're looking at than that. All right. Gap and go on tech. Okay. We've got a red candle, bearish candle yesterday with volume, right? So look at the volume here on this bullish candle, then the bearish candle. So we definitely have volume gapping up. So we've got a potential gap and go here. Okay. And look at how so let's mark off the high there. We're inside. Like, look at this, just sideways action, right? Just building pressure going sideways. Go back to a 3-minute. All right, so just building pressure. Volume is decent. I think I just saw one that was like 16,000. Let's see. Yeah. So the volume is definitely up there. So that's worth keeping an eye on. All right, I'm just going to have that written down on the list because I've got Tesla and Nvidia and other on a different chart that I want to keep there. All right, we looked at C. All right, let's get into some of the tickers that you all are posting. Um, all right, let's take a look at. Let me just look at the gap down list one more time on my screener. Okay. I'm not really seeing anything else there. Okay, let's take a look at Cheryl's list. We have Adobe. Okay, Adobe. Yep. So if it gaps, right, it would be a retest gap. So we had a bearish candle yesterday, but looking at, I mean, right now there's like 300 shares that have traded, 400 shares maybe. So there's no volume on this pre-market. So it may not even gap, but keep an eye on that, Cheryl. Let us know if you see anything. But again, it likely may not even gap because there's hardly any, if at all, volume pre-market. PayPal. All right, PayPal, we are just trading within yesterday's range, right? So here's yesterday's price action. We're just inside of it. Again, you've got a lot of moving averages in the way, right? So yesterday we traded right to the target, got rejected. Okay, so you've got this level here, right, which basically yesterday's high is, that's where it's got to get through. So it got rejected there yesterday. It's going to have to get through that in order to continue up. And then you have the 50 right up here. So I'll leave this on my list. We'll keep an eye on that. It is going to be a retest gap. Well, actually, it's not even gapping. At this point, it's going to have to just break yesterday's high before it would be, at least for me, before it would be tradable. But we can, yeah, we'll keep an eye on it, Cheryl. You let us know if you see anything happening with PayPal. Uh, Again, this is the getting above yesterday's high is the critical level to get above, right? Take a look at HD. All right. Get HD, very light volume. So only a few hundred shares traded. Bullish day yesterday, nice bullish day. Look at that. That is a lot of buying pressure, right? That long lower wick there, a lot of buying pressure. So that's a good sign, right? For HD to move higher. But again, light volume today. So just keep an eye on that. add something to my list here. All right, Starbucks. Starbucks would be a retest gap, right? Red candle yesterday. Let's just see where the high of this is. Okay, high there yesterday. What do we do in pre-market? Let's mark off the pre-market high here. Okay. So if it does gap, let's check out the volume. Yeah, it probably is right around 10,000 from what I'm seeing. So the volume is okay. Let's wait and see where it opens. We do have that pre-market high. Just remember that level. If it can get back down and test this area and show us something, again, we want to make sure that we have that proper risk reward. We don't have anything pre-market down below this level that we can use necessarily as a stop. We would have to use yesterday's aftermarket hours. Let's go to 15. So we'd be looking over here, right, to find some type of a stop level, whether it's this pivot here or maybe this here. So wait and see where the price action, where it opens. And but this was who was this? This was Tim. Okay. So Tim, keep an eye on it. Let us know what you see. I will put it on the list to track. Tim also wanted SQ. So SQ would be a retest gap. Again, uh, we had a bull candle yesterday. Let's see, volume. What's the volume looking like? There's about six. Okay, so we have 10,000 shares there. Uh, watch this level. Okay, pre-market high. We know where that is. I probably given Tim, given the how close we are to yesterday's high and what the pre-market high is here. What I would probably want to see, again, we'll wait till the market opens, but I would want to see price get above the pre-market high, get above it and hold above it, right? Actually, I'm going to bring this down. This was just one little, let's bring this down. That's better right there. Okay. So I would want to see price get a, this is a pretty good range right here, right? So if price can get above here, close strong, now we know that our stop can go below this level, right? Somewhere down here. So that's a pretty good, at least range for the stop, right? So if it can get close strong above here, we'll just do a limit buy off this level, stop down here. Okay. But we're also going to want to be tracking the market, right? Because the market is just going sideways right now. But so we'll see how some of these move on their own versus with the market. So Tim, keep an eye on Square. If you see Tim, because I've got only have so many places where I can add tickers. But if you're going to watch Square, call it out. Let us know if we get starts if it starts to look like we're getting a strong close above the pre-market high here. Okay, and then we'll take a look at it. Let's see, KBH from Jay. I think I got yeah. Let me add SQ to the list. KBH. KB Home. All right. This candle, similar to what we were talking about, is I don't know if Raja is here. Similar candle to what we looked at yesterday with Raja, right? So big, huge candle yesterday. Look at that volume, right? Volume, big candle. So I'm thinking that even though this is looking, and it looks like volume's kind of light, right? Volume, yeah. So volume is really light here on KB Home. But that said, this is no different than what we were looking at yesterday. I forget the ticker, but if you just throw on the fibs here, right? Let me blow this up a little bit. Okay. If we're looking at this, expect a retest down into that area there. Okay. So usually with the can, and this happened exactly yesterday. Yeah, Matthew, we looked at Wells Fargo, but if we have time, we'll go back to it. All right. So yesterday, oh, Raja, you are here, right? So Raja, right? Yesterday, didn't that happen exactly like what I talked about, where it retraced because it was a big, huge candle the day before, retraced about 20 to 30%. And then I think, yeah, again, I forget which ticker it was. But I think it bounced out of there, if I remember correctly, or maybe it didn't. I just know at one point we looked at it. Was it SGH? Was that the ticker? SGH. Okay, yeah, yeah. Okay. So who called out KBH here? That was Jay. All right. So Jay, keep an eye on that. I'm gonna throw KBH on the list. And I'm curious. Let's take a look at while we're thinking about it. Let's go back to SGH. All right. So yesterday, right, it did retrace, right? So yesterday, when it got down into here, right? That was that level where I said expect it to retrace and got right to it. Here was the issue with this, right? Is yesterday the markets ended up rolling on us, right? And they ended up rolling. I was on till 11. So it was maybe what about 10:30 that the markets were kind of holding. And then all of a sudden, before Johnny got on, that's when they rolled over, right? And then that's when we got the more of a bearish move in the market. So prior to that, we actually tried a couple of longs because that's what the market was looking like at the time. Lost on those, then the market rolled. But normally, right, if the market was going bullish, it likely would have retested this and then gone bullish. So, but that is a typical thing that you'll see with a big candle like that. Retrace 20 to 30% into the previous day's candle. And then if the market is moving up, then you'll get the bounce out of there. All right, let's take a look at, I think we got through everybody's tickers. We can go, Matthew, we can go back to and look at Wells Fargo. We'll just touch on that again. All right, so what I was saying is, and the conference call should be going on right now. It said it's supposed to start at 9. So we have this move down. It's kind of chopping in this sideways channel. So it is a gap and go, right? Because it was a bullish candle yesterday. It's gapping down. It is currently down almost 6%, right? That's okay. That's 6%, under 7% is usually what I'm looking for. 4 to 7%, but once it gets higher than that, I lose some interest in that just because it's like, okay, how much more is going to go? But let's look at this on the 15, see if there's any like, okay, this is interesting, right? So we have the low here, 56.40, and the low here, 56.40. Okay. So this was green a second ago, right? So that was green a second ago. So I was looking at this going, okay, trees are bottoms, right? This level right here. Okay, 56.45. So it's close. But clearly these two candles right now are finding support here. So that 46.40 level, I'm sorry, it's 56.40. Yeah, 56.40. That's the level that it's holding. Stop again could go up here, right? Question is like right now, that's about a 1-to-1. That's not really giving us what we would need. So I'm gonna let this open up. I'm gonna see what it does. Um, No, I'm going to take a look at Tesla right now. We have 3 more minutes. Let's take a look at Tesla. So, you know, interesting. Like Tesla, look at this. Like this, look at this move up. What a nice move. And then in one day, you just get boom, takes out multiple days worth of stair stepping up, right? So there's that saying that you take the stairs up and the escalator down, or the elevator down, either one. But look at that, just boom, right? Takes out 1, 2, 3, 4 days worth of price action in one day. So it's a retest gap. We have, let's see, low yesterday is right about there, right? We have the here's the 10 EMA on the daily right here. That's where it's holding right now. But then we have the 200, and that's exactly where it hit. So here's the 200 on the weekly level right there. Let me just so there's the 200 on the weekly. So there's definitely some support here, and you can see that's where it came down here and bounced, right? So depending on what the market does, let's, maybe, yes, this is trading lower, but maybe it fades up from here just because we do have some nice levels of support in our favor, right? The 200. So, but man, that's a lot of volume. Look at that. Big candle, a lot of volume. That's just, it's got to be defeating for, the stock to like make this move and then just in one day just get crushed like that. All right, let's take a look at Nvidia. Again, the market is going to have to cooperate, right? We're going to need to see which direction the market's going to go. Again, it's a Friday during the summer. Fridays can be slow. People are trying to take off for long weekends, get to the shore, get to the beach, wherever they're going. So let's take a look at Nvidia. The market just opened. Let's look at Nvidia real quick. All right, so another big candle here, and we have, we're sitting right on top of the, let me just draw a line here, so we have a mark the bottom of this. Okay, so we broke slightly below it yesterday's afternoon, after hours market, came up here, and look, this one right here came right down, touched it. This one came down right here, touched it. So that level is, we know that level is trying to hold. Whether it will, we'll see. But let's just, market just opened. Let me say goodbye to everybody there in YouTube land, since we need to go now. But appreciate you being with us. And again, feel free to come on over to reallifetrading.com, join the community, trade with us